Hi, I'm Vivin Subhash. I'm from Chennai and I'm a civil service aspirant. I've done my architecture in NIT Trichy. Why I was drawn towards civil service is that it's a career in which you can provide service to the people of the country but also make a living out of it. So when I was searching for the right place to guide me to study, I came about a lot of institutes and I chose MCC IAS Academy. I came to know about the various things that I found unique in MCC which I didn't find in any other academy. The major ones being that the mentors who are here, the people who teach us and the people who guide us are people who are pursuing civil services with us simultaneously. So I thought that that is a very big advantage because the people who mentor us will be people who understand what we are going through and what I'm studying. So which is why I wanted to come here. The second advantage for me is that there's hostel accommodation, which gave me the freedom to follow the schedule without any hassle of going back home and coming back. And it was a very good environment which is situated inside the school. So it gave me ample time to study and gave me all the facilities that I required to study without being disturbed, which is why I thought MCC is the right place to come. So I'm done with the foundation course, and foundation course it is highlighted all the basic concepts of all the subjects, which made me finish all the NCERT and basic level books easier. The books that I hadn't studied before, I could finish it in a matter of weeks. And all the other tests that followed up the classes gave me the confidence that I can clear I can crack previous year UPSC questions, because all the questions, even though they were from what were being taught in class, it was questions that are taken from previous year UPSC papers. So it gave me the confidence that with the foundation course, if I could do this, that joining into the full course will give me even more access to a lot more information and a lot more practice to clear the main exam, comparatively easier than if I had joined anywhere else, because this thorough schedule that I am sticking to, which was given to me by the mentors, I feel is helping me a lot to finish books which I wouldn't have done if I hadn't the schedule, if there was nobody to follow me up with the test. And the foundation course, it met my expectation, which gave me the satisfaction, the confidence to go on to the full course. So which is why I thought I'd join it.
My name is Gracie. I'm from Chhattisgarh and I've done my masters in microbiology. One of my father's friend, when he came to know I want to pursue IAS as my dream, he said MCC is a good platform and why don't you give it a try. So there are 3 to 4 things I found interesting and different from other academies. First, there are less number of students and that's why we get good opportunities and many more moments to clear our doubts and confusion, and the fees is very affordable, so anybody who comes from a family who is having problem with fees, they can actually come here and it will be of help. And second thing is they simplified the syllabus, which is very vast coming to the UPSC, but they simplified it in a level which actually when they take classes, after every class they take test series and provide notes which actually break the pack and ideology that you have to first prepare and then give a test. But whenever they take a test, it actually makes you understand that how much you grasp from the classes and it helps you to pursue it. The third thing is we get a more opportunities and chances to not only clear our doubts but also we have common doubts and confusions. So the teachers which are here are experts in their subjects, so they help us to understand it. And last thing is, since I come from Chhattisgarh, they have provided me with an accommodation with good facility. So since the study hall and the office is open from morning 8 o'clock to night 8 o'clock, it have an access, so we can actually come and study over here.
Good evening, sir.
Sir, good evening, sir. Good evening.
Yeah.
No, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, Wilson, sir.
Good evening. Good
So
evening.
we'll just wait for 2 or 3 minutes. I think around 40, 50 of them will come in. So
Sure,
they are also coming through YouTube live.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so.
Start, sir.
Isra, you're not audible.
Hello, sir. Shall we start, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Oh, very good evening to one and all present here. I thank you everyone for attending
Volume is needed.
I thank everyone for attending this webinar. Thank you so much. First of all, I welcome Dr. Paul Wilson, the principal of Madras Christian College. I will welcome Dr. G.J. Manohar, director of the MCC IAS Academy. I will welcome Dr. Ilango sir, associate professor and coordinator of the IASC in MCC Madras Christian College. I welcome everyone. The speakers of the day are one is a doctor and another one is another speaker is rank 8 all India rank 8 holder, and we have them. They are open for questions. And once they start their talk, you can ask the questions in the chat box or you can raise your hands. We'll unmute you. Now we'll start with the every occasion we start with the word of prayer by the gracious blessing of God. So let's bow down our heads and say the prayer. O thou who in days past didst put into the hearts of good men to found this institution for the imparting of sound learning, the building of character, and the spread of spiritual truth and knowledge of thyself. Bless our college, schools, academy. May love, unity, brotherhood be learnt here. May industry, uprightness, courage grow here. And from this place, may there be sent forth continually a stream of men and women who serve thy faithfully in thy world. Amen. So, I'll like to call upon our director, Dr. G.J. Manohar, to give a brief note about the academy and also about the webinar. Please, sir.
Yeah. I hope you're all able to hear me. Once again, I want to welcome all of you who come for this webinar. And especially I want to extend my warm welcome to Dr. P. Wilson, the principal, Madras Christian College, Tambaram, who amidst a busy schedule, when I sent a text and he said, yes, he would be there. So thank you, sir, being there and a motivator, a person who's behind the whole program. When the Madras Christian College Association wanted to start a program of this sort, he was the one who spearheaded, giving me the strength and guidance and making how this academy should go. And I also want to welcome Dr. Ilango and the two special speaker, Dr. Alarmel Mangai IAS, Mr. Johnny Tom Burgess IAS. Both are young people who are there to share their views. And we wanted this webinar to be held because MCC IAS Academy came into existence the year 2022. And the main focus on this academy is to see that young people are motivated towards civil service. And how to go about was the basic question. And we had the foundation courses and then weekend courses we have now started. And with all that, we have the faculty coming from outside, as well as the greatest support is the faculty from MCC Tambaram. And also we have some special guests through Zoom and through the online talk with us. And for example, one of our subject, like an optional geography, is taken by one of our IPS, who is the IFS, who is there from West Bengal. Actually, he also had to share, but today he's not doing. The next webinar, he would come and share. And one of the main reasons we have made it to happen in MCC school is we wanted to give you a very calm atmosphere. The people who are studying, they will share their experience in this. And we want to make the younger generation. And if you look at Tamil Nadu, we need a lot of young people taking IAS. And many of them have the aspiration. When I ask a 12th standard student, he says, I want to become an IAS. You ask a college first year, second year going student, he says, I want. But the direction they are not able to know. So these webinars could give you, open your mind. And MCC IAS Academy is unique by itself. It is because it focuses to see that the students who come here are able to achieve. It's not to just have one more program, but to make this program a successful program. And we have a lot of expertise because being in the education field and the college with our principals giving us so much of knowledge and a variety of professors were available to help us through this program. So once again, I want to welcome you all. And this is a brief note regarding the other aspect of the program. The coordinators who are there were quite young. And one of the major thing is wherever you go, you find coordinators or professors or lecturers who are quite older than the people who are studying. So we have younger people who could motivate, who also prepare with them, and some of them have cleared their mains once or cleared their prelims, and they are working along with you. And we have a very good team which is going in, and the atmosphere here is so serene, where you could be quiet and to sit and study. But we are not going to say that you need to join, but we want to open your minds to see how you can achieve. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks for your brief about the academy. Now I'd like to call upon Dr.
Isra, you need to make your mic come closer. We are not able to hear you.
Okay, sir. Sorry, sir. Now I'd like to welcome Dr. Paul Wilson, the principal of Madras Christian College, to have a special note about the academy. Over to you, sir.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Dr. Manohar, the director of MCC IAS Academy and headmaster of MCC School, and Dr. Ilango from Madras Christian College, who handles such courses here in MCC, as well as coordinates with the MCC IAS Academy at Chetpet. And the IASRA and all other members of MCC IAS Academy and the participants. Once again, I feel that this is an opportunity for me to disseminate the content that many of you are not really aware of, that why in Tamil Nadu that we are not producing much of IAS officers. It's a big question that people are asking among the media. And if you look at the colleges, MCC, especially MCC, the reason why we have started this MCC IAS Academy specifically is this, that MCC has been known for, I would say it was a flagship, a natural USP of MCC, a unique selling point of MCC, that in the past, till 1970s or 80s, I would say, that we used to produce IAS and IFS and IPS officers periodically, but there was no strategic ecosystem in MCC. That's, you have to note very clearly. We never had IAS Academy or a coaching center in MCC, but it was a part of the fabric of MCC teaching and learning process, I would say. Even the students who stay in the halls, hall means hostel. We call that as a hall here. It's a system, completely different system. So students who stay in the hall, debate is an integral part of the hall. I think this is how I'm saying it is prevalent in the fabric of the culture of MCC. So debate is we call it as L&D coordinator, literary and debate coordinator, who handles this debate. Even in college, we had debate as a very important integral part of an academic system. Now, this debate, we are trying to revive it in MCC. And I would say, as an IAS officer, right from school, if you are an aspiring IAS officer, right from school, you should have definitely involved yourself in reading newspapers on your own, and reading it between lines, and critically analyzing it, making comments on it. Okay, you should have an ability to write critically on it. All these aspects naturally should have developed in your personality. I think this is a prerequisite, I would say, if you really want to become an IAS officer. So we call that as a critical thinking. That is very, very important. Now in MCC IAS Academy, that we are trying to impart such kind of a strategic, teaching learning methods that would probably make you to prepare in a shorter period. Now the problem is in that among the Tamil Nadu candidates who appear, generally we have made a survey, but still we have not analyzed it. Dr. Ilango has made a survey. It's a question that we have been pondering upon. Many of our students, I would say, as a speculation or a hypothesis, is because lack of awareness about IAS exam, they are not able to write. Right from school, they've been informed by the fact that the teachers, either you think of engineering or you think of medicine. Only two options were projected for the students. And students were not informed much about IAS as a career in the school. Only parents, if they are ambitious in sending their wards for IAS exam, probably they would have personally motivated them. So as a result of that, we see many candidates coming over here for this kind of a program. But strategically, we need to always impart this knowledge as a part of our curriculum, that IAS is not so tough to crack. I think this is a kind of a statement that I want to make. People should be aware of that IAS is not so tough to crack. Civil service examination in general is not so tough to crack. I had been a part of staff selection commission interviews, and it was very, very pathetic to see that I could not witness many of them from Chennai or from some part of Tamil Nadu here. It's very pathetic situation. And though I could see that our people are capable, capable of clearing staff selection commission in all civil service examination I'm talking about now. So looking at that, what is very clear is that the speculation is that people are not aware of. That means they are not trained in aptitude right from schools. The aptitude test, if you start taking it as a hobby, just as a hobby, you need not clear examination. Just as a hobby, if you had already started taking up aptitude test, I would say you would be programming your mind in such a way to clear all the aptitude tests easily. So the mind aptitude is very, very important, which is not there. So what we are trying to do is that if you prepare on your own without any assistance from external sources, you would be simply groping in the darkness. Instead, if you take part in MCC IAS Academy or any academies as a part of it, you would reduce the time that is taken for the preparation of IAS examination. The reason is that we would offer you a guideline wherein you'll be able to clearly go through the informed pathway, very clearly informed pathway. That means if you follow these pathways, you will reduce the time that is taken for clearing your IAS examination. That is what we can guarantee. We cannot spoon feed you. So with this understanding, MCC IAS Academy has started this journey. And we have tutors. One of the tutors who has already cleared, the other tutors who have already appeared many times, and they've got some experience. So with this background, with the youngsters, we are trying to reach out to the youngsters. And Dr. Ilango is here. He has been handling this IAS courses for many of the IAS aspirants for decades, I would say. And we are also bringing in IAS officers, as we are planning to bring it today. One of the IAS officers is Mr. Johnny, who has passed out from MCC recently, I would say, from Heber Hall. And I've been interacting with him. The same question I asked Johnny, why that we are not able to produce IAS officer, that you came on your own self-motivation you came. Why are we not able to, even if we try to arrange programs, why are they not showing much interest? I think there are certain things that can be achieved through disruption. We call it as disruption. That means you have to disrupt the existing system and create a market for IAS aspirants. I think this is what we are trying to do it. And I'm sure we'll be able to help you out through this program. If you you register yourself through MCC IAS Academy, you'll be given opportunity. The one other thing that I would say as a strategy is, one is that guideline or a template that is provided by the IAS Academy, number one. Number two is a peer learning ecosystem that MCC IAS Academy has created. We have a facility for a residential program. So you can stay in the facility that is provided for residents over there. So you have a library over there. You can use library books, and it is affordable. That's very important. Compared to other IAS academies, it's affordable generally. So MCC's interest is not to make money out of it. Rather, we would like to produce a proud IAS officers from MCC IAS Academy. This peer learning ecosystem that has been created as part of the MCC IAS Academy would be definitely interesting for all of you. It will assist you, and thereby you'll be able to develop the debating character, the character to debate. You can debate among yourself on a particular topic during nights when you stay in the hostels. And we can use this facility so that you'll be able to grow more. It's a collaborative learning, I would say. It's a kind of a community learning that is being incorporated. And the materials that they provide you, definitely authentic material. We have Officers IAS Academy helping us in incubating, as I would say. They are incubating us, and we need to be thankful to them, and use this opportunity. Please use this opportunity, and don't bother about whether you're clear or not. But this experience itself is precious. That's very important. Going through this experience itself is very important. And don't bother to make multiple attempts. And definitely, if you don't clear in one exam, definitely you will clear some other exams, or the outcome is going to be acquaintance of knowledge and thinking, critical thinking. I think this is what is important for getting to any other job. So with these few words, I congratulate the MCC IAS Academy for having made efforts to reach out to the candidates through their program. And I'm sure this particular event handled by the IAS officers would definitely throw light on the recent trends in getting into this IAS as a portfolio or as a program. And I thank all those who are involved in it to make this IAS Academy a successful ecosystem where we will be incubating many aspiring IAS officers in the years to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your inspiring speech and stressing on the importance of assisted preparation, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Now we have, I'll hand over to Vinod to introduce the speaker. Before that, we have, I'm again stressing on the point that the chat box is open, that you can put your questions there to the speakers. And also those who are watching in YouTube live can put your questions in the comment section. So we have one IAS officer who's a doctor and another IAS officer who scored AAR rank 8 and also is an alumni of Madras Christian College and is a graduate of Maths. Over to Vinod to introduce the speaker.
Very warm good evening to one and all present here. Our first speaker is Dr. Alarmel Mangai. Ma'am is a 2019 batch IAS officer of Tamil Nadu cadre. Ma'am is from Palani in Dindigul district, an alumnus of Tanjavur Medical College. Ma'am cleared the UPSC Civil Service examination in 2018 with an All India rank of 408. Ma'am has served as an assistant collector in Tirunelveli district as well as sub-collector Padmanabhapuram in Kanyakumari district. So ma'am is currently the additional collector of Coimbatore district. And I now call upon Dr. Alarmel Mangai IAS to share her experience of cracking the civil service exam and offer some insights into how aspirants from medical background as well as other streams, how they can prepare for the civil services exam. Thank you, ma'am, for taking your time out and joining us here. Over to you.
Thank you, Vinod. Good evening, all. And I thank MCC Academy for this opportunity and the invitation. Vinod, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay, right. So the topic which is given to me is, can people from different streams take up or crack civil services? And Tamil Nadu is one of the pioneer states where people from different backgrounds crack each year. People from varied backgrounds crack the examination. So I am from medical background and I have various predecessors who had already cleared from medical background. So I think, Vinod, I will just go into my experience of being a medical doctor and how I was inclined towards civil services. Then I will go to the preparation strategy. So first of all, I was brought up in Palani, which is basically a town, and I studied schooling there till my 12th standard. So I was in a kind of incubation center where I was not exposed to the realities of the community or the society, and I was a normal student going to school, coming back. Only during I did my graduation in Tanjavur Medical College, which is a government medical college. And only during that period, I got a close interaction and close association with the society or with the community. Because people from basically middle class or a lower economic strata, they prefer to come to the government medical college. So it is not mandatory, anyone can come. But still, this is the economic and social status which come to the government medical college. So during my years as a medical student, I got a close interaction with them, be it maternal health, be it women-related issues, be it road traffic accidents. So these be it tuberculosis. So when we go to a tuberculosis ward, basically we don't see them only as a patient. So apart from treating them, look at the socio-economic background of the patients who come to who are susceptible to tuberculosis. So all these things will make us worried and all. So this close interaction with the community made my inclination towards civil services stronger. So I did not prepare for the civil service as such my medical college days, because I was little held up during the graduation days. So as such, I didn't take up any preparation. But I used to read newspaper every day. That is the part of my preparation. So every day I used to read English Hindu newspaper. So I kept myself updated with the current affairs, not in depth as a UPSC aspirant, but as student, I used to read, I get like what are the topics like economics, polity, history. I had a broad view, but as such, I didn't purchase Lakshmikant or some books, and I started preparation. So during my entire 5.5 years, my preparation was limited to current affairs and general knowledge. After my graduation only, I took up civil service preparation in a full mode. I joined a private civil service coaching center. Then I started preparing and all. But interestingly, after coming into service, we get to realize that this different knowledge, different graduation will help us give new ideas to the civil service. It makes the field more enriching. It brings in new ideas, variety of ideas. We come up with new solutions. For example, my current Commissioner of Rural Development, he is Dr. Darish Ahmed. He is a medical graduate. He is a doctor by profession. He took up civil services and he is native of Kerala, but he came to Tamil Nadu, Kadar. So he was MD, Mission Director of NHM for a quite long time. He occupied that post for quite 3 years. So during that time, he did a lot of like strengthening the primary healthcare centers, bringing in neonatal healthcare into the primary healthcare aspect. So all these changes was brought during Dr. Darish Ahmed's period. So this is the variety we can bring in the civil services, and this knowledge of each graduation, like engineer thinks in different way, a doctor thinks in different way, English graduate thinks in a different way. This variety of thinking will definitely help us in civil services. Like I am basically a medical graduate, makes me a patient listener. That is the quality I got from medicine field. So whichever petitioner comes to me, I used to hear patient. Though every one of us have to have as an civil servant, but these qualities are ingrained in us as a graduate. So, for example, I have seen many of my engineering counterparts who are in civil services who have a lot of lateral thinking. They used to give sharp solutions to the problems whichever we face in our current day events. So apart from this, if you want me to discuss about the preparation strategy, I will go into it. Or can the aspirants ask me question?
Sure. So aspirants, if you have any doubts, you can raise your hand so we can unmute you and you can interact with ma'am. Okay. Meanwhile, ma'am, like interestingly, your optional was Tamil literature. So being from a medical background, how you chose Tamil literature as an optional? Can you share insights about it?
Yeah. So that is one good thing. Like basically, being a medical graduate, we can there is a list of optional subjects where we can go and choose. So generally, doctors prefer medical science or anthropology, have a correlation with the syllabus. And to the medical aspirants here, your syllabus of anatomy, physiology, pathology will be covered in 1 to 4 years syllabus will be covered in your UPSC optional syllabus. So whatever you read through in your college days, all the anatomy, physiology, biochemistry will only come in UPSC option. So if you are going to choose UPSC for your career as a future career, if you have joined medical science, start from the first year itself. Whatever you prepare for medical science exam, like for our first year, second year exam only, it is going to be repeated in UPSC option also. So particularly you can have a closer UPSC syllabus download panni vechittu we can just see what are the syllabus repeated here and there. So other mattum thaniya you can prepare notes for the 5 years and it will be very handy and helpful when you are going to write the UPSC exam. Apart from that, you can choose any other optional. Generally, we prefer anthropology as our second preference if you are a medical graduate, because most of the genetic part, everything will be overlapping, so that it is the most go-to subject in UPSC. Otherwise, we generally choose other options like political science, sociology, or literature optional. So there is no hard and fast rule in choosing the optional. Since I had a natural inclination towards Tamil literature, I had some interest in reading Tamil literature during my college days. I thought it could give me an edge in scoring Tamil, and I had a little bit of interest in writing Tamil also. So I thought it could lead me to good marks. So that is how I landed up in Tamil literature optional.
Okay. So now if I look at the GS papers also, there is a lot of like history, polity, social sciences adhigama irukku. So coming from a science background, how did you cope up with the general studies paper?
So basically, general studies plays a 80% role. Science, it comes only very limited. UPSC prelims science konjam varum, then mains la nama eduthitona it comes only in GS paper 3. So science is a very limited scope in UPSC if you don't go for optional. And UPSC major role polity, history, economics and the but since we have a clear cut syllabus for polity na we have a syllabus preamble ஆரம்பிச்சு நம்ம கடைசி ஆர்டிகல் வரைக்கும் படிக்க போறோம். ஃபண்டமெண்டல் ரைட்ஸ், ஃபண்டமெண்டல் டியூட்டிஸ், டைரக்டிவ் பிரின்சிபல்ஸ், அதுக்கப்புறம் பார்லிமெண்ட் அந்த மாதிரி போயிடும். ஸோ சிலபஸை மட்டும் படிச்சா ஐ திங்க் இட் வில் பி வெரி கரெக்ட் ஸ்ட்ராட்டஜி அப்படிங்கிறது தான் whatever I have learned in all my years of preparation. Keep your syllabus and prepare for the syllabus. Don't go anywhere out of the syllabus. Don't keep multiple books for preparation. Polity na or book, history na or book, NCRT means NCRT, geography ki NCRT na NCRT. Enough. Keep one book and do it multiple revisions. That is a mantra for I think many of the toppers have also said this. So nama nariya book vechittu we are not going to specialize in any of the subjects. So history ke 4 book padikano abingiradhu not a compulsion. So you take one book whichever you feel comfortable, which you feel very quality material abdi neenga nenikira, you choose one book and have that book with you. Go it through multiple revisions. So and nama eppadi GS la we should have a natural hold. We don't have any other option if you are going to prepare for UPSC. அதனால it comes naturally I think. And the UPSC preparation syllabus நம்ம எல்லாமே படிக்கிறது ஹிஸ்டரி படிச்சாலும் 11th 12th NCERT தான் படிக்க போறோம், ஜியோகிராஃபி படிச்சாலும் 11th 12th NCERT தான் படிக்க போறோம், சோஷியாலஜி எனிவேர் பாலிட்டி. அதனால I think should not be any much difficulty in preparing for general studies aspect. It is only the strategies. நிறைய டெஸ்ட் எழுதி பார்க்கணும். கீப் ஆன் ரைட்டிங் சோ மெனி டெஸ்ட், பி இட் பிலிம்ஸ் ஆர் மெயின்ஸ், மல்டிபிள் டெஸ்ட் எழுதணும். ஒரு டெஸ்ட் சீரிஸ், குவாலிட்டி டெஸ்ட் சீரிஸ் புட்டப் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. தட் டெஸ்ட் சீரிஸ் எழுதிட்டு ஒவ்வொரு டெஸ்ட்டுக்கு நம்ம அப்படிங்கறத மட்டும் நம்ம பார்த்துட்டே இருந்தோம்னா தட் இஸ் சஃபிஷியன்ட் ஐ திங்க்.
Okay, I think Madhesh Raj, he has a doubt in the chat box. He is a 12th grade student from MCC school. He has asked, he'd like to have your advice as to what are the things that I can start to work through for the preparation from now itself. So he's studying 12th standard. So other than reading newspaper and magazine, he has a doubt what he can study.
I will sincerely advise him to not focus on UPSC right now. You can complete your 12th standard comfortably. Please focus your attention on your 12th standard grades and marks. After 12th standard, you can, whatever you study now, you told you are reading magazines, newspaper, that is more than enough. So you can go for your graduation. Graduation ponadukku appuram you can start your preparation. So
Okay, ma'am. Then Deepak Raj, he has a question. He's asking which degree should I study to crack UPSC?
he is also a 12th standard student, huh?
No. Yeah, I think he is in school. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. He's studying school only.
Okay. His name is
Deepak Raj.
Deepak.
Deepak.
Okay. Hi. Please don't have any bias in your mind. Basically, your interest. So, whichever subject interests you, whichever subject excites you, please go for the subject. Degree is the thing, and the 3 years of college is going to mold you as a person, not as a civil service aspirant. UPSC comes later in life, but degree comes as a important stepping stone towards various other career options. So UPSC is only one career option. You have multiple other career options. So degree edukarappa you go whichever subject you have inclination to, and the madhi subject you choose for degree. You can be anything. You can be medicine, engineering, genetics, literature optional, mathematics, physics, chemistry. There are aeronautics. Degree is open to you. So please don't have UPSC in your mind when you are choosing your college degree. Degree is something different, the UPSC is something different. UPSC comes later in life. So whichever subject interests you, excites you, please go for the degree.
Okay, ma'am. Yes. Akil, he has a doubt like how to stand apart in your mains exam. How to stand apart from rest of the candidates.
Aspirants in the mains exam. Okay, this is a good question. So UPSC mains is a critical. So prelims is quite easy, comparatively easy part, and interview is basically your personality test. So mains is a whole process which is going to decide your rank, which is going to decide your service, your cadre, everything. And we have 4 general studies paper, 2 optional paper, 1 essay paper, which is mandatory, and you have the language paper, which is qualifying. So every UPSC mains paper, if you take general studies 1, you will have 20 questions. I will decode 1 question paper, so you can apply it to all other 4 general studies paper. So 20 question. So the basic challenge is to complete all the 20 questions in the same pattern. First question, quality quality you should give for the 20th question also. And there is a general pattern to write a UPSC mains answer. There will be an introduction, there will be a body which will have both the positives and negatives, both the pros and cons. Then you should conclude it with the positive note. So this is the basic structure of any UPSC answer. So this structure you should maintain for the 20th and I tell, but to replicate it in paper, it needs a lot of practice. Another test series வந்து ரொம்ப முக்கியம். நம்ம இந்த UPSC prepare பண்றப்பயே you have to join and write. Each mains paper will have 3 hours time. So on the 3 hours kulla to think, to process. Vinod, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. You are audible, ma'am.
Yeah. So writing practice is the main strategy is to uniform and to maintain that structure toward the 20 questions. It is one important strategy. To give a very positive conclusion, question can be anything. So finally, if you give a conclusion in a very positive note, if you give new ideas, new suggestions, it gives a very good impression to the paper corrector பண்றவங்களுக்கு. It gives a very good impression, and you can put up a lot of flow charts, diagrams. You put in extra more data so that your paper looks apart from the rest of the aspirants. For geography answer, you can add diagrams here and there. For science based question, you can put up a flow chart. So these makes your answer sheet look apart. So otherwise you have to whatever another one important point is 20 question we will be able to answer only 15 questions. However preparation strong arunda kuda rest of the 5 questions we will not know, but you have to make up for the 5 questions with the limited knowledge we have. So you should make a decent answer for all the 20 questions. Therinja questionum theriyada questionum ore maadhiri eludhanum. So that is more important. UPSC means.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. You have answered most of the questions. I know you have a busy schedule, but thank you for taking time out and being with us here today, ma'am.
Okay.
Adarsh, you have a Q&A session?
No, we can go to the next speaker.
Okay. Thanks a lot, ma'am. Thanks a lot once again for being here.
Thank you, Vinod. Thank you for the invite.
Thank you, ma'am.
So we have our second speaker today here, Mr. Johnny Tom Varghese IAS. Sir is a 2014 batch IAS officer of Tamil Nadu cadre. Sir is an alumnus of Madras Christian College and he did his graduation in mathematics. Sir cleared the UPSC Civil Service examination in 2013 with an All India rank of 8. Sir has served as an assistant collector in Erode district and sub-collector in Cuddalore. Sir has also served as an additional director of the State Fisheries Department. And Sir also served his term as a commissioner in the welfare of the differently abled department. Sir is currently the district collector of Ramanathapuram district. So now I call upon Mr. Johnny Tom Varghese, sir, to briefly share his experience of cracking the civil service exam. Yes, sir.
Hi, everybody. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Hi. Warm thank you to all of you, especially the principal. And hi, Alarmel Mangai Nice to see you here. Thank you for this
Hello,
opportunity.
sir.
Hi. I hope you're good.
Hi, sir.
Yeah. So then, nice seeing the MCC IAS IAS Academy, isn't it? So good to see that you're taking this effort to, get across to people and getting across people like Mangai who can, who are the people of the latest batches. And I'm sure she knows much better as to what is happening than me. But thank you again for inviting me to this forum. I don't know if principal is here. Thank you for inviting me, sir. And it's good to be back, addressing students of MCC. I don't know how many of you are actually listening. The civil service exam is basically about getting into the higher bureaucracy. And it's a very, I believe, to the truest sense that you need to be motivated to get into this service purely because of the competition that is there. I think that being a civil servant, I don't know if people will agree to this, but it is still one of the, if not the best, a job that is the most versatile option that is available for professionals, in the sense that you will be able to access a different variety of job roles. You would be able to switch between different kinds of jobs. You will be talking to the poorest of the person and to the richest of the person, thereby your access across caste, class, everything opens out to you, and you will have the access and the credibility and the legitimacy to deal with problems of the society and bring in changes or bring in your idea of what development is. You will be able to bring into the society. Now, forget about the fame and the the aura around these three letters or any service, but the ability to actually get into different fields, different professions, and make an impact is so much that I don't think any other profession in the entire world will give you that opportunity. So therefore, if you get into this service, it is unparalleled, at least unparalleled, I believe, across the world. It is a job that gives you a pocket of area and it gives you the power by virtue of the position to make changes. So therefore, it is not about the fame. I believe that it is about the pure, the beauty of the access that it provides to a commoner like you and me. A person who is average can make it. A person who is brilliant can make it. A person who is poor, a person who is from any caste, any class, any background can make it to this. So therefore, I believe it is a great level playing field. UPSC has been fair to this date. So therefore, you can trust that if you make in enough, if you are dedicated enough and plan and smartly prepare, you will be able to make it and it will give you a life-changing experience. So therefore, it is worth it. So that is why I would like you to prepare for this examination. Now, whether you will clear this examination or not, it's a different question altogether. Purely because of the sheer number of people who write this examination. So, as rightly pointed out in one of the earlier messages, I think by Akhil Asher, who says around 5 to 10, I think the number of people who apply is close to around 9 lakhs. So 9 lakh people apply, and from there, you get selected to 1,000 people who make it to the final service. So I think in my batch, it was around 180 IAS officers. So I don't know, is it the same? I don't know if Mangai is still here. So I think it's still 180 is a number of people who will make it to the IAS.
It's the same, sir.
Yeah.
180, sir.
So basically 180 people will make it to the service. So it is not because the exam is very difficult that you cannot crack it, but it is because of the number of people who are applying for this examination, and therefore you have to be exceptionally competitive. So therefore that is a difficulty. So I was going through one more question that was there, which is, how to stand apart from the rest of the 5 lakhs and 10,000 students in prelims and mains respectively. So how do you stand out? Am I audible? Others, are you here? Can you confirm? Yeah. So how do you stand out is a question, or how do you make it? Now that is a very simple question. It is an exam, which means it has 3 levels, one preliminary, one mains, one interview. Out of the 10 lakh people, 5 lakh around will write the examination, and out of that around 15,000 will make it to mains, which means that you have to be the top 15,000 to make it to the prelims. You have to be the next top 2,000 to make it to the interview stage. And in that interview, if you are in the top 180, then you will make it to the Indian Administrative Service. Otherwise, you will make it to some other service. So basically, you have to top the examination. So forget everything else, whether you are from BCom or you're from maths graduation, or you're from history, or you're from political science background, or you're rich or poor, from town or village. Finally, it is what matters is that examination paper which is in front of you, the preliminary question which is an objective paper, and the mains which is a descriptive paper, and the interview. So it boils down to how you perform on that day of preliminary examination. So it doesn't matter which graduation you took, whatever you took or whatever you did, are you prepared for that exam is the question. So therefore, the point I'm trying to make is that find out what the examination is. Find out how you can best answer a question. How can you give the best answer to a question? For that, you have to understand the question. You need to know the answer, and you should be able to write it in the least time possible. These are the main attributes of any examination that you will see, and this you will follow here also, but you will be competing against a wide number of people. Now, as MCCians, you already have an advantage. You already have a better education than others. You already, I'm guessing that around out of the 5 lakh people who write preliminary, your competition is against the 20,000 people who are really serious. So take the 20,000 people, and that is a serious bunch of people who actually prepare for this examination and write. So that you're competing against the 20,000 people. So in this 20,000 people, you already have the advantage of communication. Most MCCians talk well. Most MCCians can write in English or in some language, and you have the time to prepare. Now, I don't know if the same hall system continues, but I am sure that once you're in second year and third year, you can easily find time. I don't know about the first years, about what kind of work you're into, but you will be able, you have a lot of time after 1:30 when your college closes. You can have combined studies, you can debate, you can have group discussions, you can study a topic, you can do a lot of things. Therefore, do you have the time to do it is the first question. Do you have the dedication to make it? Are you the 25 or 20,000 people who are serious about this exam is the first question. Not about whether it is BSc Maths, whether you have done BSc or BCom General or whatever you've taken. Do you know what kind of questions are coming? Have you prepared for these examinations? have you done enough dedicated work for this, is what it boils down to. Now, if you want to know how to clear this examination, you have to go all out. There is no half-hearted. You have to understand that around 5 lakh people write this exam, 25,000 people are the serious candidates. Unless you go all out into preparation, you will not make it, because it is a very competitive field. So you have to dedicatedly prepare for this examination. So therefore, my tip to all of you is go see the portions, go see the syllabus, memorize the syllabus. Try to do question papers. Look at the question paper. I remember that when I started out, I didn't know anything about this examination when I was in college in MCC. But then I started working in Nokia India Private Limited, and I was placed from college. And I was one of the, although I did mathematics, I would barely, pass the examinations like all MCCs. And I would, somehow I got placed, and then I was in Chennai for 1 year. And then I made it to PSG, I think. And that time I just didn't have any goal in life. When I was in the second year of my post graduation, that's when I realized that I need to do something in life. And then I went to Delhi. Somebody told me that the Indian Administrative Service examination is there. So then I went to Delhi. And so I said I will go all out. So first year I completely dedicatedly prepared. I would go to all the coaching centers. I didn't have enough money to attend any big coaching, but then I registered with one organization that supported me for going to a coaching center. I studied all the basics, NCRT. I started reading newspaper only then, and I didn't have any history of reading newspapers. I started reading newspapers in that year when I started preparation in 2010. And then I found out the portion, I found out the syllabus, I got to know that. So everything was fresh. The first time I took out prelims question papers with around so many questions, I really didn't know answer to probably 1 or 2 questions I knew. I didn't know any answer. It was a very scary experience for me. But then that is how you start. So that's when you realize that you jumped in. Now you swim and reach the other end, and then you come out. So therefore it will. And then somehow you got interested in studies. So I realized then that if you are a person who liked to study, like if you were a good student from 6th standard to 10th standard, and then maybe 6th standard to 10th standard basically, and if you had a good background there, then you have covered most of your basics, because NCRT or 6th to 10th is the base of this examination, because it is about everything in life. They can ask you anything. So whether you have good logical sense, whether a common sense is okay, and you know your basic 6 to 10, then it means that you are good to jump in. Now it is about competing. And then you start reading all that, and then you attend all mock. Wherever you get a mock exam paper, you start doing it. Every day you pick up a mock exam paper. Don't think about the answers, whether you know the answer. But when you see a question and the 4 options, study all these 4 options, look into Wikipedia. And then you know that you start reading about things. Now, I didn't know answer to any of the questions, but once you start preparing and then you reach 1 year, then you will know that you will be able to answer, or rather eliminate. So you won't know the answer, but you will know how to eliminate. So therefore, elimination is a much key aspect to a multiple choice paper than knowing the right answer. So you'll understand that. So somewhere you would have read and you know that this is not the answer. And then you can boil down the 2 options, and then you should maximize your attempt. So you should attempt more number of questions, only then you will reach a higher score. So therefore you will know prelims. And then once you have cleared prelims, then you will get into the next stage of mains, and there you should have studied one subject. That subject can be anything. Now, I will tell you one thing which I have understood through my preparation. I went to take mathematics as my optional. and physics as my optional. So when I started preparing, there were 2 optionals, and later it got reduced to 1 optional. I went to take mathematics and physics, but then I ended up studying sociology. Now, I just understood that if you study a topic that you already know, let's say BCom or mathematics or physics, of course, if you're very confident when you go through the former question papers, and you're very confident, please attempt. But if you're not too confident, like in MCC, did you really learn the subject? If you don't, then I would say that it will take you time to relearn. And you would already have so many bad perceptions in your mind about the subject that you may not really, and you may not be competitive. In a college, paper attempt, you will be trying to fill up maximum pages. Teacher question கேட்பாங்க 20 marks ஒரு கொஸ்டினுக்கு 5 பேஜ் எழுதணும் 5 பேஜ் எழுதியா 3 மார்க் கிடைக்கும் as in அந்த ஒரு கால்குலேஷன் வச்சு தான் நம்ம போவோம். But I am telling you, if you take a different subject and you UPSC, you will know the trick of answering maximum in minimum number of words and time. So therefore you will become competitive. So I have understood that a lot of people who clear the exam, like Mangai, who did not choose mathematics, but she chose Tamil because it is a new subject. And unlike you get into college, you get into this examination to study Tamil with a much better focus. So you will spend a lot of time in studying, and you will end up learning crisp aspects, and you will learn things in the orientation of clearing this examination. So you have an advantage over people who have studied the subject over 4. So Tamil 4 வருஷம் எடுத்து கத்துக்கிட்ட நபர் மேல இந்த தமிழ் ஒரு வருஷத்துல அல்லனா சில மாசங்களை கத்துக்கிட்ட ஆட்களுக்கு கொஞ்சம் கூட அட்வான்டேஜ் இருக்குன்றதுதான் என்னோட ஹைபோதீசிஸ். ஏன்னா அவர் ஃபோக்கஸ்டா ஸ்டடி பண்ணியிருப்பாங்க. நிறைய விஷயங்கள் 4 பேஜ்ல அல்ல 5 பேஜ்ல இல்ல, ஒரு 200 words எழுதுறதுக்கு ஃபோக்கஸ்டா they would know. So therefore they have an advantage. So saying once you clear mains with this one subject, by the time you reach interview, don't worry about it. You would have, after you clear both these, you will have enough confidence to get into interview. An interview is just about doing a lot of mock interviews. அந்த காலேஜ்ல போய் அல்லனா அந்த ஊர்ல போய் உங்க ஏதோ ஒரு தாத்தா கிட்ட பேசினாலே அவர்கிட்ட பேசும்போதே அந்த இட்ஸ் a conversation. Interviews basically, it's not about the correctness of the answer you give. It's about the impression that you leave before the panel. நீங்கள் ஒருத்தர் வந்து எங்கிட்ட பேசும்போது நீங்க பேசிட்டு கிளம்பும் போது ஒரு ஃபீலிங் கொடுப்பாங்கல்ல, இந்த ஆள் லாஜிக்கலா இருக்காங்க, இந்த ஆள் கொஞ்சம் நல்லா he will do good, he is a smart guy, he is dedicated, அந்த ஒரு ஃபீலிங் கிடைக்கும். அது பேஸ் பண்ணி தான் மார்க் போடுவாங்க. ஆன்சர் தப்பா இருந்தாலும் if they feel that you are logical, you are able to understand, our மார்க் கொடுத்துடுவாங்க. So your thing is to show how you think. You should talk more so that they understand how you think, so that they understand what kind of a person you are. அதுக்கு டைம் கொடுத்துடணும், நிறைய பேசணும். பேசும்போது உங்களை மறைக்க முடியாது. You will obviously throw out the personality that you are, and you can't hide yourself, and they will understand what kind of a person you are in the market. So with this, I like to quickly wind up my Gyan session, and any questions you have, please ask. One thing that when I was in Delhi, I was in a classroom. Now a classroom when I was in coaching, I asked myself, Johnny, would you be able to be topper in this class? 20 பேர் இருக்குறதுல you are going to compete against 5 lakh people. Are you confident about clearing or being better than these 50 or 100 people who are sitting in this classroom? That should be your goal. You will go into classroom. Imagine, are you putting enough work to study better than the 90 people in this class? Are you preparing smartly compared to the 90 people sitting in this class? Then once you have done that, you will feel the confidence. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'll just read one of the questions from the chat box, sir. I think this question is from Jojo. He's asking, I think his idea is about his future, like preparing for the civil services as well as his career, like his post-graduation. He's asking, is it advisable to start your preparation after you finish UG, or no, should I can I take up my PG degree directly?
See, my answer would be that if you're sure that you will attempt this examination, if you're clear that you have made up your mind to attempt this examination, then you attempt as early as possible. Go all out. And in between, you can do your master degree or whatever you want. But you always have this chance of not clearing because the pass percentage is very low. So therefore, if it's always good to have a plan B also. But for your education, for you to clear this examination, a basic degree is enough. So will studying master degree help you in this examination? No. You need only undergraduate level to clear this examination and common sense to clear this examination. But for your plan B of life, you may need to study more or you may need to do something else. I hope I have answered. Jojo.
Sir. So we have another question, sir. So I'll just read it out. I request you to tell us about the things you wish you knew early in preparation stage and the subject matter that can be ignored to simplify your preparation.
See, Akhil, see, I wish prelims first time prelims I cleared, and the first time after I cleared prelims, I did not clear mains. Now, when I went into the mains, I was very, on the topper mindset illaya, adu vechudhaan pona. Ella answerum theriyano, and I should know all the answers. And the mari attitude vechudhaan ulla pona. This I think was not a right attitude, because when the third attempt, when I cleared, I was very relaxed because I already had a plan B. I was very chilled out in life, and I decided that even if I do not know an answer to the mains examination, I will use my common sense to write an answer. So I was more creative in my mains paper in my third attempt. So I wish I actually enjoyed my studies a little more. This is the only time after your school life that you will get to study, that you will get to read, and about every subject. So therefore, I wish that I enjoyed the process a little more in my early life. I wish that I read the newspaper, in a comprehensive manner much earlier in life. I wish I enjoyed my studies of mathematics a little more. I wish I noticed things around me a little more. I wish I read Wikipedia a little more and gained a lot of knowledge about things. So basically, I wish I brought in preparation into my life a little earlier. For instance, I don't know if I'm making myself clear, that in the Sutti Pakumbodha, I see one microwave in my kitchen. Okay. I wish when I saw the microwave in 2000, when I was in my first year of degree, when I saw the microwave, I asked myself, Johnny, why is it called a microwave oven? What does a microwave do inside it? How does it get heated up? When I look into coffee in my cup, I am drinking coffee now. Where did this coffee come from? Was it I'm in Ramanathapuram now. Was this coffee made or prepared or grounded in Ramanathapuram? Or did it come from Kerala? And why do they, what is the difference between instant coffee and filter coffee? Why does instant coffee dissolve into a coffee? Why doesn't filter coffee dissolve into milk? I hope you're getting, Akhil, I hope I'm answering your question. That it is about the beauty of understanding everything around your life. In your college, if let us say any subject in your college, anything in your, there is a boxing ring in the campus. Now, why is the boxing ring shaped like a square and not a circle? What does a water tank do? How does a water tank work on the basis of gravity? There's answer everywhere. So whether you have built that questioning, understanding capability into your life, like if you newspaper ஆரம்பத்திலிருந்து கடைசி வரை படிக்கிறதுனால நீங்க இந்த எக்ஸாம் கிளியர் பண்ண மாட்டா. You will not clear this exam just because you are reading newspaper. Everybody has read this newspaper. But in there is a portion in Hindu about electoral bonds. Electoral bonds பற்றி படிக்கும்போது you should know at least 10 different ideas about electoral bonds. What is electoral bonds? Then you will ask yourself, what is election commission? Election commission oda function enna? Bonds enna? Idukku bonds enna pair enna? Idukku idu eppo aarambichanga? Your essential, if you just reading and just writing down notes will not help you clear. Read like, this is a golden statement I learned earlier. Read like you're reading it for the last time. When you read something, I wish that when I read something, I simply did not make notes. Notes make pandrathu may not help or may help, but read it like I was reading it the last time, so that I understand it. And I go deeper into it by just thinking about it. So whether you get the time to think about what you read is what really matters for this examination. Yeah.
Sir, do you have time to take one more question, sir?
Sure.
Okay. So Meha is asking, sir, she's in her final year in PG, and she wants to know, is it advisable or is it really necessary to take up coaching from a coaching center, or can we prepare on our own, sir?
So, you can prepare from your, it depends on what kind of a person you are, Meha Priyadarshini. See, I was a person who would never sit in a room and study. எனக்கு அந்த 10-20 நிமிஷம் இல்லைன்னா 10 மினிட் கூட ஒரு சீட்ல உட்கார்ந்து படிக்க முடியாது. I cannot do it. I will stand up and I will go somewhere and I will get lost and I will never come back. But when I went to a UPSC coaching center, there were people who, who were there. I had a thinking mind. So when they talk about something, I will gain something from there. I will talk to someone else. So it's an active space. So ungale ukarnda roomla, if you can cover all the aspects in the portion, cover question papers every day, see if the answers are good, if you are answering to the point, if you are understanding, and you don't need group discussions with friends. You don't need to be prodded by the coaching center person to write exams. You don't need to be fixed or monitored. Appadi venana neenga veetla seiyalam, you will be successful. But if you need somebody to help you, like somebody to do the work of preparing things, giving you question papers, so that it makes your life easier. UP coaching center போயதுனால you will not clear. வீட்டில் உட்கார்ந்தனால you will not clear. It is about whether you will clear the exam paper. And I think you choose what kind of a person you are. Do you need guidance? Do you need somebody to help you? Or you can do it yourself. Every people who have been at home have cleared. People who have been to UPSC coaching center have also cleared. So therefore, it is up to you and what kind of a person you are. Akhil is asking me whether the second part, I have not answered my second part. So he has cut 50% of my marks. What is the question? What is the second part?
Yeah, Akhil, can you just take the question again?
Subject matter that can be ignored. Is that the question?
Yes.
Okay. So what you can ignore is, let us say you take a newspaper. Prime Minister party, political party சம்பந்தமா ஏதோ சொன்னாங்க, அல்ல யார் மேல corruption allegation இருக்கு, இதெல்லாம் அவாய்ட் பண்ணலாம். அதனால தான் நான் சொன்னேன், நீங்க அந்த you go to the portion, you go to the syllabus, by heart it, memorize it. So then you will know that whatever this party president tells or what allegation they make, or all those political things does not matter. But what matters is the subject, the theme as per the portion. So when you really memorize the portion, you will be able to understand what matters and what does not matter. For instance, in the newspaper in front of me, one headline say a week more of electoral bond sales from tomorrow. அப்ப நாளைக்கு என்னைக்கு electoral bonds என்றது உங்களால அது தேவையில்லை. You don't need to understand, but you need to understand what electoral bond is, what election commission does, and the subject தெரியணும். அப்ப current affairs என்ன அதுதான். யாருமே என்னைக்கு electoral bonds நடந்தது, சேல்ஸ் நடந்ததுன்னு கேட்க மாட்டா. ஆனா electoral bonds என்னது என்றது கேட்பாங்க. They will see if you have understood the concept of electoral bonds. There's another news about striking the right note, a hand of support for Tanpura makers. Tanpura என்ற ஒரு இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட்டை பத்தி மேக்கர்ஸ், அந்த மேக்கர்ஸோட பேரு எல்லாம் அவர் எங்க இருக்காங்க இதெல்லாம் உங்களுக்கு கேட்க மாட்டான்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ஆனா தான்புரா என்னது, அதோட ரெலவென்ஸ் என்ன, அது என்ன இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட், வேற ஊர்கள்ல அதுக்கு வேற பேர் இருக்கா, what kind of people go through it, or what is the relevance of that instrument, generally about culture and what kind of culture, is it Carnatic instrument or Hindustani instrument. So these kind of exploratory questions you can do. You don't need to understand, you don't need to ask yourself the nitty-gritties, other nitty-gritties which are mostly political or not relevant for the exam. So when you study the portion, you'll understand it, I think. I hope I have answered you, Akhil.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for your time and giving your valuable insights. Ezra, over to you.
Okay, now, sorry, one second. Yeah, now we shall have others giving a brief about the academy, what we have gone through so far, and what are the process we are having ahead.
Okay, so I'll just share briefly about the academy, about like why we've had this particular Zoom meeting, and just a brief about what are the different options, like who have come, like just a minute. Yes. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes, others.
Yeah. Okay. So just briefly about why we've had this webinar. We've of course got many inquiries from like different people about this like from different undergraduate levels. So based on that, we broadly classified like based on our understanding or what is popular among the undergraduates in taking different courses, like what is popular among different students. We've broadly classified into 3 types, like the social sciences, the humanities, and the sciences field. So as mentioned by our panelists also, you have different rounds. So you have, this is just the main syllabus, but we have 3 stages in your UPSC preparation. So whether it's your first stage, your preliminary examination, or your main stage, there are certain subjects that are of what we call general studies, that is of general importance that all aspirants need to know about, that all civil servants need to know about. Those will be history, geography, polity, and economy. There are other subjects, as stated by our different panelists, that can give you an added advantage. But if you have these 4 subjects as something that you studied in your undergraduate, this can really help you in your preparation. Okay, so just briefly looking at the first field, the social sciences field. Now, this is the one where you have the maximum amount of overlap between what you study in your particular course and your UPSC preparation in general. So whether you're BA economics, history, geography, political science, sociology, all these, even public administration, all these can have an overlap in your general studies paper, and there is also an option to take it in your optional paper. So this will give you an added advantage. This may or may not be advantage, as Sir also was mentioning. If you are not someone who took your undergraduate studies seriously, then when you're preparing, you'll have to unlearn certain things and read on it. So that may be a certain obstacle or certain challenge. But if you're someone who has been serious, like in your undergraduate preparation, this will give you an added bonus. So apart from that, so I'll just quickly go to the second one. The second one would be a humanities. Of course, this covers your English, like BA or MA in English, your BA or MA in any other vernacular languages, and the others would be your visual arts and performing arts. So that would be your fine arts degree. Now in humanities, there is of course very limited scope in what you study in your undergraduate versus what you are preparing for. However, if you are so inclined, you can choose it in your optional subject. So you can take English or any other vernacular subject as an optional subject. And as ma'am also was mentioning, she had a general inclination towards Tamil, and so she took it and she used it to her advantage. But apart from that, it can only be served in your optional paper. Fine arts, it will help you in one paper called the art and culture paper. But apart from that, there is very limited overlap. Your third would be your sciences field. So in your sciences, you have 3 types. You have your engineering, your medical sciences, and your pure sciences. Now, of course, okay, just move it. Okay, and your pure sciences. So a lot of the participants, I believe, have taken pure sciences field. So you have mathematics, physics, chemistry. Now, if you look at the bottommost, your BSc, that has become like a little bit the pattern of preparation. They've given much more importance now in terms of your Indian Forest Service or your environment paper. So if you've taken any of these degrees, it can really help you in your preparation. But apart from that, any sciences field or any like engineering or medical field does not give you an advantage in your general studies paper, except in helping in your optional paper, right? So just to recap, we have 3 broad divisions. You have your social sciences field, your humanities field, and your sciences field. And I've just given you an overview of what exactly gives you an advantage. So social sciences is predominantly the subject that has a lot more overlap compared to your humanities and sciences, but it should not be a limiting factor or a deterrent factor, meaning anyone, regardless of which stream you studied or which degree you studied, you can crack the civil services. And that was also reinforced by our 2 speakers, our 2 IAS officers as well. And so this, if you look at number 7, the number 7 in your mains preparation, that is your optional paper. That will be the one that really decides your ranking in your final mark list, while all the other subjects, to an extent, you can have a ceiling limit in paper 7 based on which option you choose. That will really help boost your mark. So these are the different optional subjects. I've also categorized them based on the different streams that are available, just so you don't have to limit yourself to social sciences. Once you, like, if you're doing engineering or even the medical sciences or even language paper, if it's something that interests you, you can take it up and you can use it to your advantage in cracking the civil services examination. So for all of this, to really understand, I think even ma'am reinforced that point that like you don't really have to have studied that in an undergraduate level to really take it up in your civil services. She mentioned one point of how interacting with patients really brought out the character that or the character trait that she needed in preparing for the civil services. So that is something that we also want to help students identify in the academy. So we've started a new program called the Eye Opener program. This will start in January. This is for mainly for students who are studying in college, like in their final years as well, how to slowly integrate into your civil services preparation. So how to integrate into your civil services preparation, how to use your undergraduate degree to your advantage, and whatever pitfalls or whatever limitations you have in certain subject matters that you lack. Even sir was mentioning there are so many things that we take for granted while we're studying, in school or college, how to truly maximize your potential to cracking the civil services. So this is, you can look at it as a stepping stone towards your preparation. So this is just a 3-month crash course program. It will happen about twice a week in the month of January, where we'll be giving the students a brief overview about the different subjects that are there in your civil services preparation. So once you've cracked, finished your undergraduate degree in about a few months. So this will be from January to March. So by the time of March or April, you'll be finishing your degree. So you'll have a general understanding of how you need to go about your preparation. So this is the Eye Opener program that we're starting in the month of January. So as mentioned, so this is how we really assess the students. So we have like a 5-step process of first building a foundation for the students and then giving them tests and then analyzing their performance based on the test. Like even ma'am was mentioning, right? So different people have different inclinations regardless of which undergraduate degree you study. So we first give them a foundation of basic knowledge, then test them and then analyze them like as to what their strengths are and what their weaknesses are. And this is a cyclical process. The first 3 processes are a cyclical process where we keep on adding new amount of knowledge or information and testing that and then analyzing the students. So based on that, you can have improvement upon layers. And the 4th step is very important. This is lacking in most institutes, but then it's come to be one of the most important processes in your preparation. Having a proper mentor to guide you in terms of what books to study, what resources to study, what to avoid, how to go about preparing, how to go about making notes, what how to go about choosing your optional. So all these things are something that it's lacking even when I was preparing. So this is something that is a unique benefit of MCC IAS Academy. So this is what we offer. Like mentoring really helps, not just in terms of your academics, but also in terms of your in terms of your psychological well-being. And then the students are ready for their for taking up the examination. So as I mentioned, so this is the entire different programs that we have. The early bird, so this is sort of like an early bird program, what we're launching, the Eye Opener program. So this will really give you a basic foundational knowledge on what are the different subjects and how you go about, like say, choosing an optional or go about, what strategies you can take in your preparation. Yeah, so with that, I'll end and I'll hand it back to Ezra.
Thank you, Adarsh, for giving a brief about the academy. And I would like to call, have a testimonial by a student, Gracie Evangelina Rao, who is from Chhattisgarh. Over to Gracie. Please unmute yourself, Gracie. I guess there is some technical glitch. If you have some questions, you can just put it in the chat box or raise your hand so that we'll unmute you so you can ask the questions.
Okay, just a minute. Gracie will be joining shortly. Gracie, can you see?
Yes, sir. Is my voice audible, sir?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Gracie Vanchniya Rao, and I've done my master's in microbiology. I'm from Chhattisgarh, Bijapur. So, talking about the academy, it really helps why and how. Starting with the syllabus, UPSC syllabus is really vast. Unless you understand and crack it, how to go into it, it's really hard to consistently do it. So the first thing the academy helps to do is analyze the syllabus, decode it, how to approach, and then coming to the current affairs, which is the most extreme and important part of it. It starts with how to read and how to have this idea of continuously doing it every day in a basis based on analytical thinking, a conceptual thinking, a thinking that will help you not only in exams, even in the service. So that's how we start. And then the academy is open from morning 8 o'clock to evening 7:30. Even after the dinner time, we can still sit here from 9 o'clock to 10 in the night and study. We have access to a library, and it's filled with books that is helpful in the studies we have. They conduct exams and tests every week. So everything we are going or everything we are learning in the static portion and in current affairs, we'll be able to approach it in a question form. And not only for prelims, we are preparing, it's prelims come mains. So we are preparing for mains as well. So it really helps to understand how to approach it. So talking about like the classes, the digital classrooms, we have soft copy form notes, we have hard copy form notes, standard books are available. NCRT is something we approach for the first time because we need to have a basic. And as I come from microbiology background, the one thing that scared me was economy and what is that, history. So the first class I attended was economy. The first class which I attended was really fearful. I agree with Verghese sir that it really scares you, like we don't belong there, but it's not about which background you come in. So now when we attempt the exams of economy and other subjects, really helps. And the interconnection between the subjects to approach the exam, they really help us to understand us. There's a mentorship program. So we also watch how we are studying, the sitting hours we have, how we are approaching the subjects, how many subjects we are studying per day. So, and the other thing is because I come from a very different state and there are students from different backgrounds out of Chennai as well. So we have accommodation facility, good facility, hygienic rooms and everything. And there's a mess available here. We have canteen facility as well. There are reasonable number of students. So it's not like there are a lot of students that the teacher will not be able to pay attention to. We have a question hour and we are able to clear our doubts. If we have a doubts in the evening or after the class also, we can approach the faculty. They're very, it's like there's no doubt. It's like there's no barrier between the faculties and the students. And there are moments when we have debate sessions, like we belong to different backgrounds, no? So if we have some different ideas regarding a subject or a topic, the other person involves and puts their own ideas. So we have a holistic. So I'll really appreciate. I was a person, I was trying to study being at home, was not able to. But then I came to know about MCC Academy, and it really helped in the way like financially also is affordable, it's reasonable price. The hours are flexible. You can come here, you can study anytime, you can approach the faculty, you can use the books they provide, you can use the materials. Not only we solve question based on current affairs and now, we also solve previous year question, which really helps you to know what exactly UPSC is asking for. So I really appreciate their approach, their support and the knowledge they have. That's all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Gracie, for your insights about the academy and your journey. So you started your journey in preparation. We wish you all the best for your achieving your dream of being a civil servant. Now over to Adarsh to give the closing remarks and to close with the word of prayer.
Yes, thank you. I would like to extend my thanks to everyone who has joined. Firstly, I would also like to thank Dr. Alarmel ma'am and Dr. Johnny Verghese sir, who has both agreed to come. Although Sunday is a day of relaxation, but they've taken their time away from other duties that they have to be with us, to answer a lot of our questions and to clear our doubts. Like a lot of us have this perception or this fear of the future, or we don't know what to do. So I think this has really given us a sense of calm, a sense of an assurance that anyone can clear. And as sir also was mentioning, you have to be dedicated. So that's something that really was impressed upon me. Ma'am also talked about having a general interest in interacting with people. So I would like to thank both of them for their participation and for giving their time, and I'm sure it was beneficial for a lot of the students. I would like to also thank the principal of MCC, Dr. Wilson sir, who is agreed to spare his time for us. Although I understand he was busy and he had a lot of things in his schedule, and yet he was willing to come and to be a part of this. I'd also like to thank Dr. Ilango sir, who's as Wilson sir also was mentioning, he's the one who first started. This was sort of his brainchild. So he wanted to start this in the college campus as a forum for different MCC students to take this up as a challenge to crack the service. So I thank him for gracing our presence. He is also an expert in Tamil literature. If anyone has any inclination towards preparing for UPSC with Tamil optional, he is the go-to person. He is the most sought after person. So I'd like to thank him also for gracing us with his presence. I would like to thank also Dr. Manohar sir for he's the principal of MCC school, but he's also the director of the MCC IAS Academy. I'd like to thank him for taking his time away from a lot of the other things that he has planned and attending. Lastly, I would like to thank all the participants for joining. If you have any doubts or you have any queries, I think certain questions are still there in the chat. We'll sit and answer all of them. If you have any other doubts, you can contact us through our website, through our Instagram page, or through our mobile numbers. Feel free to call and we can give you all the details for anything that you have. So, yeah. Okay, so Ezra, shall we close with prayer?
We can, but one person is keeping on going on asking a question. Can we answer a question and close out of prayer? Or
okay.
Roshini was studying a bachelor's degree in home science.
Okay, I think Roshni asked, she's doing a home science. So question is, are you able to crack it with any bachelor's degree? Yes, Roshni, any degree is enough. I think home sciences would come under the sciences field. So any degree. So if you look at the UPSC notification, if you can share your contact detail, we can mail you the UPSC notification. So in that, they have listed down the different degrees that you're needed as a basic minimum to cracking the civil services. So this is one of the home sciences which is there in that also. So that is more than sufficient. So it does not matter which degree you study, except that you have an undergraduate degree. So that is more than sufficient. Yeah, I hope I answered your question.
Okay, then we'll close with the word of prayer.
Okay, shall we pray? Okay. Thank you, Lord, for this time, Lord. Thank you for this session that we could, on Sunday, that we could gather here with many experts from the field. Thank you that we could see so many participants among our students, like from whichever field, whichever background they are from. We all have this one common agenda and one objective to do good for our nation, to build up India into a nation that can serve its people, can be developed and can grow economically, politically, and socially, Lord. We thank you for the time. Thank you for the students you brought us. We pray that it will be a blessing to many students. We pray also for the speakers. In whichever field that they go, it was very evident in their speaking that they are people of refined character. We know that they are going to be people who make and bring important changes into our society. We pray for them, and we pray that you give them knowledge. We pray also for the students. We know that many of them have a purpose, that you are going to use them in whichever field that you have in store for them. We pray that you guide them, and we pray that this is a blessing to many people. We ask all this in your name. Amen.
Thank you everyone for attending the webinar.
Ezra, were we able to answer all questions? Or is there anyone?
Someone has asked about the fee structure.
Okay. Okay, so if you look at the fee structure, we have different courses there over here. So one is a full course. A full course, it's from Monday to Saturdays. It's full-fledged. So we designed it around a residential program. So so we have hostel facilities both for boys and girls, and we designed it in such a way that the students can spend the maximum amount of time in the institute. Right, so it's from morning 9:45 to about evening 7:30. So 7:30 is when we have dinner. So the entire day, the students can spend in the institute. Apart from the classes, we also have reading rooms. The students can sit here and study for the entire day, and there's no distraction. So we ensure that one of the coordinators is always here, so that they also are focused. And as Sir also was mentioning, there are certain people who have a short attention span, who can get distracted easily. So they need the guidance of mentors. They need to be around people who study also, so that they also can get into that studying mentality. So that's what we provide here in MCC IAS Academy. That is for the full course. It is from Mondays to Saturdays, from 9:30 till 7:30 in the evening. So apart from that, we have different foundation courses in different times of the year. We had one in May, we had one in August, and one in September. So now here we'll be having an eye-opener program in the month of January. This is for those specifically designed for those who are in their final years in college, but are not sure of what to do next in life. Of course, different people from different like whether you're in your first year, second year, you're also welcome to join. This will give you an idea about the different subjects that are there. We'll be giving a general overview of different subjects in your UPSC. We'll be talking about the different stages, and from this you'll have a general idea about whether you want to pursue it further or how inclined you are in taking up this examination, right? And so apart from that, we also have what is called a Catch Them Young program. This is on weekends. This will be on Saturdays from morning 9:30 to evening 4:30. This is for those specifically designed for those who are in their college, who cannot attend during the weekdays because of their obligation to college, and who can only who are only free on weekends, on Saturdays. This is specifically for them so that they can prepare side by side while they're pursuing their undergraduate degree. Of course, it is also open for those who are working professionals, who also have an obligation to work and who cannot quit their job but want to prepare side by side while working. So these are the three programs that we have. Any doubts regarding that? Of course, so the full course fees we have, it comes about 70,000 plus GST. This is about 50% of what the other institutes are charging, because it is run by MCC. We don't want to run it on a commercial basis. And I think, as Principal Sir also was mentioning, we have a tie-up with Officers IAS Academy for the first 2 years. So well assured that we don't compromise on education quality, right? Your standard materials, your lecture sessions, everything is of the top quality, and we are having the same quality of education at a much subsidized rate. That is 50% of what the other institutes are charging. That is for the full course fees. For the foundation course, we have it at 15,000 15 plus GST, it will come to about 17,000. This started in the month of September and it will go till the month of May. So it will be a total of 47 classes, I believe. So again, it will cover all the different subjects. That is for the weekend batch. Any other doubts we have?
I think that's it.
That's it.
That will close for
Okay.
the-
So as mentioned in the chat, if you have any doubts you can clarify it. We've given our email address. You can also head over to our website, mcciasacademy.com. That over there, all the contact details also are mentioned. So you can reach us in any one of those things.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.